Hi, everyone. It's Tim Shriver joining you on the Sunday Papers feed, also joining you from our home base at Unite Media, and super excited and thrilled to bring you what I hope is the first of many encounters, invitations to meet our great teachers in this country. Teachers have had a very, very tough year. Some argue the most difficult year in the history of American public education, but they have persevered. They've been heroic. They've shown up for our kids. They've done their best in very difficult circumstances. And most importantly, at least in my view, they have the most important lessons to teach our country right now. My hope and dream is that the work that teachers do will come to us not just through our children, but directly to us, because teachers are teaching the skills for life, not just the skills for the workplace and not just the skills for the test. So today we launch this series with my colleague, my friend, my person I admire greatly, John Arthur, Teacher of the Year from the great state of Utah, a legend in his own right as a Title I teacher, as a professor of education, as a person who continues his learning in his own education, teaches sixth grade, and is known for being the kind of person who can teach us a skill for life that I think we are all looking for. He calls it how to disagree respectfully. So just imagine, in the news cycle we're in right now, if everyone on the news had learned from John Arthur how to disagree respectfully. What a different country we would have, what a different culture we would have, what a different sense of hope and possibility we might have. So with that, I'm going to see if there's ways for me to bring John onto the screen. Let's see. There he is. There he is. There he is. Missing his students, I know. John, welcome to the Sunday paper. Welcome to Unite Education. Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the kids you teach and the lessons you find are most important.
Thanks, Tim. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. So my name is John Arthur, to anybody who doesn't know me. I teach in Salt Lake City, Utah at Meadowlark Elementary, and it's a Title I school in a beautifully diverse community that's culturally rich, and our kids are the best in the world.
There you go. Exactly as I'd expect you to say, and exactly as I'd expect any great teacher to know and realize that your kids, your students, all the kids that come into your classroom have gifts and potential to make a difference. What's the skill you want to share that you share with them that you want to share with the rest of us today?
Yeah, so any teachers out there and also any parents who just want to have awesome conversations with your kids, I'm going to provide some sentence stems. That's what we call it in business. Ways that kids can start a sentence without having to think too hard about it, and then fill in the blanks with whatever is true and best to them. So if you're ready, Tim, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to ask you to pretend to be a sixth grader, an 11 or 12-year-old in my classroom.
Very easy for me to have the mentality of a sixth grader. Absolutely. Here we go. I'm ready.
It's the best
Go
place
ahead,
to be.
Mr. Arthur.
All right. So imagine it's the first day of school, right? You walk into the classroom. You're a little bit nervous. And it doesn't help that your teacher walks in and he's this long-haired, tattooed Asian guy. And he tells you we're going to do an activity called this or that. All right. It's an icebreaker. And basically, I'm going to give you a choice between two things, and you're going to pick which side of the room you want to stand on. You have to get up out of your seat. You got to move around. And again, you're nervous. There's all these new kids and this new person. But I don't give you time to be nervous. I'm going to ask you the first question, okay? French fries or ice cream? What do you think, Tim?
French fries.
French fries. Now, at this point, I will point to the wall in my classroom.
Actually, can I take it back? Can I switch to ice cream? Actually, I should say ice cream.
You can. Okay.
Ice cream, French fries day to day, but ice cream is the best of all.
See, and I love it. You're ready. You've got your
I already
explanation
changed my
in
mind. Exactly.
It's the first day of school. You're allowed to do that. All right. It's no problem. So now I'm going to point out that there are these frames up on the wall, and they're also taped to everybody's desk. So they're always.
We're going to get to share those frames with the audience. We're going to post them and put them on the website and stuff so people can download them and take a look at this. Keep going. Sorry.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. The first frames give you a way to respectfully agree with each other, and the second frames give you a way to respectfully disagree with each other. So let's say I was with you. You know, you said French fries at first, right? And then you switched ice cream. Okay, so let's say I was with you at first, and I raised my hand to the teacher because teacher asks, "Hey, who agrees with Tim?" I would say, "Yeah, he's right." I say, "Well, take a look at the sentence frames real quick. See, okay. Oh, you know what? I love what Tim said because French fries are the thing that I look forward to most in the cafeteria. They're the thing that bring me the most joy." But then all of a sudden, Tim switches sides, and now he's saying ice cream. And I'm like, what the heck? Teacher, can he do that? And, teacher says, of course he can. But Tim, you got to justify it. So why ice cream?
Well, look, John, it's obvious. French fries are not good for you. They're greasy. They are not nutritious, whereas ice cream has not just sugar, but dairy. Ice cream is sweet. Ice cream caps off every meal, makes everybody happy. You can't eat ice cream without smiling. That's the bottom line. It's physically impossible. And our country needs to smile, and I love to smile. So ice cream is, frankly, John, better than French fries.
See, now my blood's boiling. I'm getting upset. I'm getting heated like people do in society. And I think to myself, one, he's a traitor. First, he was on my side. Now he's not. Now he's saying these ridiculous things, like something unhealthy that is also delicious. Like it just doesn't compute. Delicious things must be healthy. Otherwise they wouldn't be delicious. So I'm going to disagree with you. And instead of doing what I want to do, raising my hand or maybe just shouting out as I might without
or calling you a name. I'm already getting ready to call you a name just by listening to you talk. Like you're obviously foolish and all that, right?
Yeah, teacher sees it boiling up in me. And just before I'm about to say that to you, teacher says, hey, remember, you got your frames for how you respectfully disagree. So I'm going to look at it and say, okay, I would like to respond by saying that Tim is allowed to enjoy ice cream. That's totally fine. But what he was saying seems to be, I don't know, it feels like he's attacking people who like French fries instead of saying that ice cream is better. And that just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, you can like ice cream, I can like French fries. We don't have to resort to saying that my lifestyle is a poor choice or, so on and so forth. And the conversation goes, kids come up to the mic, they disagree, and kids can move from one side to another depending on how moved they are by the argument. Let me give you another one just to see what your answer would be. Which is more important, being kind or being smart?
Being kind. It's easy.
Okay, now you got to always justify with evidence. So what's your reason?
Being kind is more important than being smart because being kind builds relationships, builds trust, builds meaning, and builds belonging. And those are the engines of a productive, meaningful life. Without them, you have nothing. Intelligence comes later. Being kind is more important than being smart.
And see, this time, I wasn't sure about Tim, but I agree with you. I'm going to go back to my sentence. You know what? I appreciate what Tim said because we're here in class, and it doesn't matter how smart you are. If you want to have a good time in school, if you want to have a good time here in this classroom, we got to be kind to each other. We have to take care of each other, and by taking care of each other, we're going to make learning better and more meaningful for each other. And so I wasn't sure about this guy. And one of the good things about this activity, and then especially these frames, it helps kids understand that from 1 minute to the next, depending on what you're talking about, you may agree with this person or you may disagree with this person. And even if you disagree with them more often than you agree with them, something in their character that is revealed by what they said, like what you just said about kindness, that can connect us and can help us get through those times when we don't see eye to eye, when we completely disagree with each other.
So, John, if you were talking to adults, which I think most of what you're talking to right now, and they're thinking to themselves, that's all fine and well, but when I really disagree with someone else, when I see things on the news where I really disagree with the other side, how do I learn? What's a frame I can use to express my opinion without making hatred or contempt the outcome? Can you give me the concrete skill? Because I want to practice it. I need it.
Absolutely. So you can respectfully disagree with people and stand your ground. It's not like you have to concede in order to be cool. And you know, on these frames, there are a couple that I love. In contrast to what Tim was saying, you know, I'm going to disagree with him. I'm going to give my answers, but I'm not tearing him down at all. I would also like to respond by saying, and especially down here at the bottom, there are these words that you can insert into the blank. I hear what Tim said. I understand. I appreciate. I respect what Tim had to say. If you start your sentences with an acknowledgement that the person who just spoke had something worth saying, you can completely disagree with it, but start by validating them.
That's such a big point. That's such a big point, because when we get into conflict, I'm listening to you and I'm already fighting, right? You're saying you like intelligent people more than kind people or something. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. I'm making my list of things I'm going to say to rebut you, rather than starting with, you know, John, I understand why you think, if I were using this as an example, I understand why you think smart people or being smart is so important. I don't agree with you, but I understand you. All of a sudden, it feels like the temperature has gone down in the conflict. And I didn't change my point of view, but I didn't demonize you, and I made you feel at a minimum that you were heard. You may not have been agreed with, but you were heard. I think that's really, really important.
Definitely. We're not combatants in the conversation. We're partners. And you have to acknowledge what your partner's doing before you make your move, before you advance the conversation a little bit farther. And this is something that we teach children now that we should have done more intentionally in the past. And I wish that we had. And I got some of this in high school when I did Model United Nations or debate and things. But I think that this should be the first thing you do on the first day in every classroom in America, because if we did that, then we would not be facing a lot of the strife and the conflict that we are now. And this is our time for a reset. This is our time to recognize that we have to start learning these skills as adults now, but ingrain it into our children so that we guarantee ourselves greater success 10, 15, 20 years from now.
John, you know, I've been talking to people the last couple of months about mental health issues, and I keep hearing people say, we need to teach our children about mental health. And then I hear people say, we need to teach our children how not to bully. And then I hear people say, we need to teach our children how to solve problems. It's true. You're already doing it. What I want to say to everyone on this is, we need to teach adults how to do those things. We need to teach adults how not to bully, how to be able to respectfully disagree, how to understand their own mental health. This is a beginning. I think we're going to learn as an adult community, as a culture, from our teachers, because I think they've got the skill. John, you've proved it today. I hope we can do this again soon. These are just snippets. We'll put your lesson design on the website so people can share it and ask you for questions and follow you on social media. And hopefully we're going to build a team of teachers who can continue to be the teachers for all of us. So thank you, John, for joining us today. Everybody have a great weekend. Obviously, tune in and get ready for the Sunday paper, which is coming up soon, and follow us at Unite as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Teacher of the Year. Now you know why.